he has.
And let's check out the picks and bans and see if this is going to give us any insight into this matchup that we've got, cha1n versus nosfa. It looks like we'll be starting off with Blood Covenant, moving to Awoken, and finally the Molten Falls as the decider. Taking a look at our champion picks. Anyone have any comments based off what they see?
I mean, nothing here is against the grain. Removing the Athena from cha1n, that's definitely, if anything, a personal takeaway, especially looking to the fact that, you know, Blood Covenant is there as well. You always want to keep that away from cha1n as much as possible. Also, the fact that he has got one of the best Athenas in the world, absolutely. So that's a really interesting decision. But, I mean, outside of that, looking at the champions that were picked, you got Blood Covenant, Awoken, and then Molten. I just think that nothing really stands out. It's all extremely meta. It's all extremely efficient. You got movement on Molten, and then you got movement in Awoken as well.
Right, yeah, I was just going to add to the maps as well. Like, nosfa is probably the one at a massive advantage. Everything's gone his way in terms of the map pool. His best maps are Blood Covenant and Awoken, and he's got both of those straight away as the first two maps. Molten, I've not really seen too big of things from him. I think cha1n will be happy about that pick anyway. But I feel like if nosfa takes the first map, then maybe he can actually cause an upset here. But this is cha1n we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I have to say these first two games have set a pretty high bar for what now the audience and us are going to expect out of these players. So we certainly hope that this is an exciting one. And based off of some of the matches that we know are coming up, it is going to be a fun-filled day here for the Quake World Championship. We've got some very, very talented broadcasters ready to bring us this game in just a moment. And want to remind you as well, not only do we have the coverage here on /Quake, but we also have it over on /Quake too. So be sure to be watching both of those. So, all right, it sounds like we are about ready to get things started. Yeah? You ready? No, not yet.
I think so. It looks like the players are in the lobby at the moment, and I can hear in my ears, I can hear the little text. So I think we're close. I think we're close. It could mean ready. I can't see it on my side, but I mean, if anything, if we have anything to go by from our first series, I think we can have a really good day. It sounds like we're waiting for cha1n. Come on, cha1n, hurry up! We can want to start the match.
Yeah, he's just taking his time, which is understandable. But yeah, again, with nosfa, it depends how he plays. If he plays unpredictable like he did in the first half of Stage 4, cha1n, you know, it's going to be a little bit of a bad time. It's going to be a little bit of trouble here, but it depends what kind of nosfa we've seen, because it's been very hit and miss with how it actually plays. And I think with Awoken, since like it is his second map, he's got Blood Covenant as well, he's got his map choices. He should be very comfortable and confident in his ability to try at least upset and even take it down 2-0. But if he lets it take it to a map 3, that's why I feel like cha1n will just excel and then absolutely dominate. But for his sake, I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, and then of course the follow-up to this is that the winner goes on to face, you know, to hang in the semifinal. Obviously, Dewey and Cygib, which is happening over on Quake 2, will go up against Rafa as well. Either way, tough roads for a lot of the players here as we jump around. And then we've also got, you know, lower bracket action we'll be bringing you as well today, so we will keep you updated as all of the games progress. But open both of those streams, get involved with chat. Chat's being very, very good this morning. We've had limited copy pasta. It's been fantastic. A lot of rooting.
Saying that just ruined it.
There might have been a few resident sleepers during that base and cooler game. And there was a really funny comment that came out of chat. Someone quoting, you know, giving Cooler a quote. I invented this play style, referring to the fact that on map 2 Ruins, you would think maybe they were on 2 separate maps. You know, you did not see them at all. But it sounds like we are ready to rock and roll here as cha1n and nosfa about ready to begin. We're going to shoot on over to our casters, ZSX and 40 Lions.
Thank you, DJ Wheat. It is myself and 40 taking you through the NA brackets today, and partnering with an NA caster makes better sense, I think, 40.
Hello, darling. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be able to cast the NA brethren here as we get cha1n and nosfa. The Comeback Kid versus Lightning in a Bottle. Looking forward to this first map. Any quick predictions on your end?
I think it's one of the more interesting matchups just because cha1n notoriously has struggled against nosfa. I know he's incredibly confident going into this event about his chances of progressing further down the bracket, but I would expect him to take it at a close 2-1.
2-1, lock it in, chat, as cha1n will get the LG and get that lower 50 shard before he makes his way back to the Mega, adding a slight delay, but the heavy is also going to be delayed on nosfa's end. Very, very delayed, actually. I like that a lot, about 6 seconds split.
Yeah, this matchup
each
in
other
particular is, for me, quite a difficult one for the Knicks. So cha1n's definitely got his work cut out. He does have quite a passive and defensive play style at the best of times, so obviously building that around the Knicks, but the pressure that Slash can put out with the speed obviously coming out, able to capitalize on the downtime of the Ghostwalk, and that's why I find playing Knicks against these super fast champions can be a little bit of a tough ass sometime. And the opening engagements from nosfa have been great, but good try-bottom response to nullify the pressure for now.
Not much damage coming out early from the Brazilian, forcing cha1n to use the Ghost Walk just to get away and grab the rockets, but he does have the Mega to fall back to. He's using that heavy machine gun really well, just keeping up the chip damage as best as he can. Finally gets a rail, but he eats one as punishment. Nothing is free here. Almost walks into that rocket. Needs to be very careful.
A bit of a tepid start from cha1n, who's very much on the back foot, as nosfa's rail has been on point so far. It does mean that cha1n cannot take the initiative as of yet, and hasn't been able to use the rail either, as he's been constantly on the run, on the back foot. But he's surviving, that's key. The Ghostwalk is still up, and he does hit a nice rail on nosfa, who is very weak.
Very good patience on that. Not going for the flick, just wanted to line it up. Gets good damage, just trying to close it out. And rails miss from both players here. Ghostwalk is available if he wants to go aggressive. There's the jump across. cha1n missing again with the rail. Unfortunate, as Mega will go towards nosfa. Items traded again. One thing I love about both these players is that they just got that swagger, man. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but the cha1n interview with Freya and QPL, he had that Dennis Rodman drip. Not the one that sends you to a doctor, just, you know, that style. I love it.
Was it a bit of drip, or was it a mental breakdown?
I mean, what's the difference nowadays, right?
That's, I guess, a good debate to have later down the line. Because
I feel like you're judging my boys, and I don't like it, as we're 2 minutes in, still 0-0. And looking for some sort of opening to try and maybe get the upper hand. He did have it a little bit earlier. That's a good rail to start off as he grabs the Mega, looking for more damage as he rotates over to the heavy here. Again, that speed from nosfa making it difficult to track and hit.
continuing to trade items. They haven't put a lot of emphasis on consolidating that at the moment. They're just fullbacks. They're trying to push the advantage with the rail and leaving the items up a little bit longer than most other players would. cha1n controlling the high ground now. Obviously that's the key benefit of the Knicks as well, as that jump across. But Slash can control equally as well if you're particularly adept at the crouch slide. cha1n tracking his opponent, back-to-back rails. If he hits a 30, we'll get a frag, and he does manage to pick up the opening frag of this series. Clean from cha1n. And so far, he's just pinning nosfa at range and getting the better of his rail exchanges for now.
We're getting the rail back. Wants to redo that last fight there as he took too many rails, overextended on that heavy, got stuck. cha1n with the appropriate punish. 1-0 now, making sure no foul play through the telly there as he jumps over for more rails. Wants to keep those up as best he can. That seems to be his weapon of choice, especially on a map like this. Why not?
For sure. Yeah, cha1n's playstyle is very much built around a rail game. He loves to play from distance. He is a slower player. But that does ensure he is consistently in series, even on the under the cosh. Very Wenger-esque in that way.
Trying to track exactly where nosfa went with that trail, but nosfa does a good job of throwing him off the scent for the time being. But again, cha1n in the right position to try and punish this heavy. There's one, he's going to go for two, but eats one and decides to back away. Probably a good idea. Did have a 50 shard to work with as well if he wants to go for the upper one. It decides to go for the lower one instead. Still a firm lead from cha1n here.
We can feel that nosfa's trying to push the initiative, taking an engagement over by the pillars, but the Ghost Walk comes out at the right time, and nosfa will go down as he is doing a ring of rosy around those pillars to no avail. cha1n picks up a nice, clean second frag just before this Mega as well. nosfa did pick up the heavy, but he hasn't got enough weapons to challenge. He might go in because he's got that lightning gun, and this could be suicide. The shotgun comes out. Did a decent amount of damage.
He needs to be careful here. nosfa getting a little crazy, trying to force the issue. The LG from cha1n was just enough to keep him away. 5 minutes in, up 2. Good LG from down below there. Chain's still weak. Can't really fight for this heavy.
Nice.
Damage, but nosfa with the read just goes right up close and personal and takes him out.
And that's why Slash can be so scary. I mean, cha1n had the Ghost Walk up, but just that speed around the corner and shotgun to the face, suddenly you've just disappeared off of the map. So cha1n caught a little bit in surprise. They're sticking around too long. He had the rail advantage, and that's what he wanted to use, but as you say, caught by surprise, and that was that.
Absolutely deleted here. Now nosfa trying to deny rockets. Around the corner, the LG's good. cha1n has to fall down. Not getting any splash damage at all here, taking a lot. Needs to be careful. Trail is up for nosfa if he wants to engage, and so he does. Down through the LG, shotgun up close again, absolutely chunking through cha1n.
Ooh,
and another one. Wow.
Shotgun meta is here. Shotgun from range now, apparently, 40.
It just hurts. It just hurts. It's painful. Nyx is thick, but she's not that thick. The stack not there. cha1n goes down, tied at 2 for nosfa. Looking to take the lead potentially here.
Definitely feel that nosfa now needs to be playing around that rail, trying to isolate that weapon. We've seen how effective it has been for cha1n. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to stop a Nyx getting across, but you need to put emphasis on it and punish her if she wants to try and pick up that weapon. He does have it, though, as we see through the X-ray. cha1n managed to skip across and pick up the Mega as well. And then once again, they trade items. No one's got a firm lockdown as of yet, and we are 6.5 minutes in, tied at 2-2. Not sure what the game plan is for nosfa on the low ground. He's getting rockets rained down. He should just want to get out, but trying to buy some time. Oh, that's a juicy rocket.
Again, defaulting the shotgun, not a bad idea after how lucrative it's been. Forcing cha1n down. Somehow avoids major damage from that rocket and claims the Mega. nosfa gonna add a little bit of delay to the heavy now. Great headshot from the rail. Barely, and another one. cha1n needs to be extremely careful. nosfa going in for the hunt, forces out the Ghost Walk without even really getting close, but cha1n didn't have any choice, couldn't take any damage, still extremely weak.
No, but this is where it becomes truly scary. No Ghost Walk up, no health on armor, and you can just look, the Slash can get on top of you. Yes, there's lots of damage coming out, but he will still go down just before the Mega as well, just before the light comes up. So nosfa, whilst weak, is now healthy and can continue to put the pressure on because cha1n spawns, no stack, no weapons, no Ghost Walk. nosfa wants to finish this here and now. Just skips across. No, that's a dangerous jump, cha1n. What are you doing, my friend? Shotgun's out once again. He'll catch him around this corner. The Ghost Walk's back up, but has he got time to react? Living on the edge, not popping this Ghost Walk. That could come back to haunt him as nosfa's in the area, and he does pop it at the last second, but nosfa's definitely got the speed advantage to get across this map. Will cha1n risk going for this heavy? He will.
Could cost him his life here. Is the LG swap, is it going to be enough? Very well done from cha1n to do as much damage as he could, but in the end, nosfa gets the frag. And that heavy was left up for a full cycle right there.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a shame because nosfa added the separation between the items, so he could have ran the map instead, going for the frag. cha1n delaying, and now he could steal, and that might give him an in, although only 130 left.
Yeah, and whilst the items were up for quite a while, you cannot miss those winners opportunities when the Ghost Walk is down. You have to take the impetus because as soon as it's back up, that's when you fall back. So it was definitely the right choice and paid dividends now with a 2-frag lead. Only a minute to go, and nosfa, he could just run if he wants to. I don't think it's just the right choice. You need to keep some pressure onto cha1n, otherwise you will get caught out. He is railable. There's no items up for a while, so it will be the time to retreat onto the lights. Hits another rail, cha1n from behind. Can he catch nosfa? One just clips the wall. nosfa's still weak, nosfa's still railable. cha1n needs to find him though.
I think cha1n tried to rocket jump up and maybe missed it just barely, but he's going to catch him out in the LG.
And he found him off the spawn as well. Can he catch him? He's got some good lightning gun, but cha1n needs to switch weapons if you're going to kill him as the speed is there. Rocket jumping out once again. Heavy's been taken, nosfa just standing his ground.
Oh, cha1n, he's going for the rail. 36
Nice!
HP and he hits it. That was incredible. Needed that rail, very clutch, 20 seconds left, but he's so weak. Needs to be really, really careful here as Mega's not up for another 5 seconds.
Perhaps the wrong choice. He could have just skated away and maybe saved his life, but we are back in a tight game. cha1n on the advance now. nosfa standing his ground on the bridge, but takes a rail for his troubles. Takes a second one with 2 seconds to go on cha1n. Perhaps unexpectedly walks away. nosfa, I don't know what you were doing.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That ended abruptly. That was crazy. Yeah, a bit peculiar there from nosfa on those last 2 plays, but dude, shouts to cha1n, the comeback kid. I don't know what to tell you. That was wow.
Yeah, living up to the name. And nosfa with the smiley face, clearly not fazed by that. I thought he played a great game, and we saw how much trouble the slash can cause, but cha1n, as we said, keeping it close, and I don't know, just not fazed.
Yeah, after getting that frag to make it, I believe, 3-4, he did a good job of kind of staying near rockets and then checking the spawn, and then he caught him out in the pillars and got that frag. It was really well done. Yeah, I just still can't believe it. That one slipped through nosfa's fingers.
You said it slipped through his fingers. He was definitely the one that had the most probability to win that series. I felt he crafted a lead extremely well with the pressure he put on around the ghost walk timings. cha1n was obviously making it very difficult for the first 5-6 minutes for nosfa to have a footprint on the map, but as soon as the opportunity arose, nosfa capitalized, and then suddenly a string of errors led to the comeback of cha1n. Sticking around on that heavy was number 1, getting caught off the spawn, number 2, and then being ultimate greed in the last 2 seconds of the game. So
yeah, and when cha1n did push into the heavy, he did commit to that rail instead of machine gun, which ultimately made him so weak. That was so risky, in my opinion. I think in that situation, just chunk with the machine gun as best he can. But
yeah, exactly.
He made it work. So
Got to regroup. cha1n fortunately takes it. Will be buoyed by confidence, but I was impressed by the way nosfa played. His aim looks good despite the conditions somewhat, and he was making cha1n sweat for it.
oh yeah, absolutely making him work for it. As we get into map number 2, it's going to be Awoken. It's going to be cha1n on the Doomslayer, nosfa on the Ranger. I think it's going to be another close one. Again, as we always say with the Ranger, the set plays can be there. I look forward to seeing kind of how nosfa uses that Dire Orb, if he wants to just the burst damage or if he's going to use it to chase. And then Doom, of course, with the double jump, being able to control the middle of the map really easily, avoid rocket damage up close. This one should be another close game.
I mean, it's nosfa. Do you really need to ask how he's going to be using the Dire Orb?
Yeah, that's true. A little bit of aggression maybe from the Brazilian. I mean, lightning in a bottle, right? Why not lightning right in your face? A big ball of it. Why not? Why not?
Big burly Brazilian just coming at you.
Let's see if the Brazilian can wax cha1n on this one and tie it up, send it to a third. We'll see. cha1n wants to put this down in 2. So we're going to be live on Awoken between these 2 players. Still sticking with the 2-1?
I am. I've already shown my cards. I can't change that prediction. But this, as we said, well, you know, I'm a man of my word. 40 is. So is nosfa. As he continues with the aggression of the spawn, he knows there's only fists there to prevent any sort of damage. And cha1n, I don't really know how he gets out unscathed, but he does.
Apparently he's Neo, the way he dodges rockets. That was very well done. Just hanging in there.
You've seen his goggles. They're not quite gunners, but they do the trick.
Whatever he's doing, it's working. Is a relatively healthy stack there, but not hitting anything. So unfortunate, but about even 40 seconds in. cha1n looking to make a play on this heavy.
I don't think we've seen anyone hit a shot just yet, which is uncharacteristic of both of these players. There we go. The first lick of damage from cha1n coming out. Good lightning gun from the low ground. nosfa wants to make a committal, but he's not in the position to do so. He's caught in a corner. cha1n delayed actually on that front. They're both relatively low. Not wanting to either one lose the first frag. Although cha1n is in a slightly better position to commit for this mega, but nosfa says, no, I'm going to come in with the wrong weapon and miss my shot. And goes down.
He forced the issue there, and cha1n punishes appropriately. Got nosfa so low earlier there. Now he's looking for some damage off the spawn. Not quite finding it. nosfa playing with fire here. Needs to be careful. Does finally take the jump pad out of it.
Yeah, needs to temper his aggression ever so slightly. That, as you say, unfortunate on the mega, but it was also a mistiming as he came in a good second late, allowing cha1n to set up. Also, as of yet, not hitting the same degree as he was on the first map on Blood Covenant, and cha1n with the advantage down here with the rail. nosfa's just sticking around trying to tickle him with the machine gun.
There's a good rail from nosfa. It's going to keep cha1n relatively weak as he grabs the 50 and the 25 in the middle here. nosfa needs to find more damage still around the rail, trying to make it rain down rails from above. connecting. That's something we haven't seen a lot of. Tri-Bolt not hitting.
Tri-Bolt MVP so far.
Favorite gun in the game. 2 minutes in now.
It's a meme bolt, I'm telling you.
Great rail there from cha1n.
And cha1n has already stabilized into his pattern of play. Positional, rail-based. Wants to make nosfa's life frustrating and hard. He's caught it from above here. Won't want to drop down as he has position on the Mega. Just happy to pepper away with these rails. He's doing such a great job with that. And nosfa is forced to use the defensive orb, and cha1n knows that's the opportunity to push in. nosfa not hitting anything once again. Unfortunate for him as cha1n gets a very clean frag just before this Mega, just before this heavy. And nosfa's life became a whole lot harder.
Yeah, that pole won't save his life, unfortunately. cha1n looking stronger and stronger. Full map control right now. This could be really bad. The chase is going to be on. nosfa needs to put out some damage, and cha1n, a merciful god for the time being here, as he just wants to Pac-Man all these items and ensure that he has the best stack to take this fight. Dire orb. No dice there. cha1n fearless, as he knows exactly what nosfa's up to. Grabs the Mega, and again, rotation between the items is perfect. cha1n only growing stronger, and I love that little jump right there. Look at that swag.
Yeah, it's what a wild nosfa appears on the ledge. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan was as he appeared from the hedge and the bushes, and slightly to the surprise of cha1n.
I'm not sure what nosfa was thinking, but he's thinking, wow, this Tri-Bolt hurts a lot, and he's going to jump in. There's a great rail. The Mega's taken, and now the shotgun. Nope, LG to end it. Lightning in a bottle eats a lot of lightning right now, and this is 5-0 for cha1n.
Yeah, that push was, again, charismatic. Yeah, fairly stereotypical. It hit just before the item pickups. Didn't do anywhere near as much effective damage as it could have done, and nosfa very much on the run still. The orb is up, so you could get away, but cha1n, as we see, just holding that mid-ground, using the audio cues to track his opponent around the map. And it almost once again feels like the inevitable death of nosfa as he's just delaying it rather than making any progressive moves on the map. I think cha1n's had a perfect rotation of both items for a good 2 minutes or so right now.
Oh no, there's a misplay on the Dire Orb. The rocket right in the mouth, and everything has gone horribly wrong for the Brazilian here.
I think he needs a telefrag to get back into this game for him.
That almost happened, that was close. It was clenched a little bit, I'm not gonna lie to you here. The rail on the drive-by missing for nosfa. All the pressure's on him. He's rocking 50 HP, just got 75. Make that 100 through the banana. The Mega's there, but it's an oasis. Don't go in, nosfa, as cha1n on the hunt again.
And look at that, he pushes in before picking up the Mega because he wants it as a fallback item. He didn't even take damage at the end of the day, but this control on this map is hard to maintain, and he's done it to perfection so far. So all credit to the way in which cha1n is playing, and it's just a calculated, suffocating playstyle as nosfa looks a little bit lost on the map at the moment. Interested to see the damage stats. It doesn't feel like cha1n's really taken any damage all game. I can't remember the last time he was low.
Yeah, nosfa just not putting out the damage. cha1n playing so patient. Now that he has such a big lead, he doesn't have to force anything, just lining up rails, LG, everything. nosfa getting a little bit of damage.
Nice.
Wow, what a great rail. Jump over. Beautiful.
I think one of the defining differences for me is the evening of the champion picks. Narrow on the mirror matchup, Doom is slightly more effective than Ranger on this map, whereas on the first map we discussed like the utility of Slash and pressuring the Nyx we saw to come into the fore, whereas nosfa doesn't have that in this engagement and needs to play a better standard duel. He just can't get items at this point in time. Like, the control is too strong from cha1n. He tries to go up, he sees the Mega available, but once again it's a trap.
cha1n is so strong. nosfa rocket jumped off his face, and cha1n was like, what are you doing? 10-0 now. But you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the hardest things of Quake, the hardest thing, is playing out of control. Everything is fine when you're in control, you have all the items, but what do you do when you don't have the items to fall back on? How do you play? How do you conduct yourself? And nosfa just can't get his footing, down 10 right now, and as time ticks away, he has to make these crazier and crazier plays to try and get back into it, and cha1n just has the stack for it.
Nice!
Never mind.
But they trade. Who's going to get a better spawn? Unfortunately, it looks like cha1n does. He'll get the weapons as well. nosfa makes the ballsy play. It does work out. He was a bit early, but doesn't get Lady Luck on his side. Poor nosfa, and he's too late for the Mega, the heavy as well. So he's in a bit of trouble here. Just wants to force the initiative, but it's not going to work.
Rockets from cha1n right on point. nosfa getting some good damage, but again, cha1n too strong, 11-0, and I think, I mean, it's too early, but this could be, I think, the second shutout map we've seen so far in this tournament. Cooler having the first one on Corrupted Keep, or Cooler's Kingdom, as you want to call it, depending on who's on the map.
Yeah, and this actually feels, in a lot of ways, very similar to how that match played out, but no, nosfa proves you wrong.
He's on the board.
Easy. But I mean, as funny as that is, it shows you how nosfa feels about this, in that he's obviously being sarcastic, saying, I fragged you easy, but that's how hard it's been for him all game long.
In a way, it just shows me that he's still got his head in the game. Yes, it looks like he's going to get knocked into lowers, but it's possible, right?
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, this is getting more and more brutal.
Well, better him than me.
Oh, he wants to hit him with a gauntlet. Okay, I see you. He's not giving up. He's just trying to style on him. Okay, it's different. 2 minutes left as cha1n taking his victory laps now.
Yeah, cha1n's not having it in this bull crap though. He's still in serious mode right now.
As he should be. I mean, there's no reason to let off the gas. There's still a minute and a half where you can use this as practice going forward, especially when you still have all these killers left in the tournament. nosfa again trying to make something happen here. Can't really do it, and cha1n is just waiting for the right rail, waiting for the opportunity.
If you look up the phrase forcing the issue, you just got a picture of nosfa staring back at you.
With that handsome smile, though.
Yeah, he's a good looking chap.
Great rockets again from cha1n. nosfa has nowhere to go, no other choice but to force issues again. And yeah, I mean, cha1n has made it extremely apparent that he's from Canada the way this snowballed out of control. 15-1.
Bro.
Looking to make even more, and he throws out the fisticuffs. Oh, nosfa.
Well, cha1n will take the series, but nosfa's won my heart, and he's won some mad points. So I always enjoy watching nosfa. I love how carefree and just how he enjoys the game. So round of applause from me. I still enjoyed this map, even though it was a bit of a stomp. But it was a textbook definition of how to play in control on Awoken. The way cha1n fell back on items and used them to the most effectiveness rather than just rotating them on a perfect cycle was actually a really good takeaway for me.
Yeah, really, really well done there. And I do look forward to seeing the damage difference. As you mentioned earlier, nosfa got some damage near the end of that, but at the very beginning, first 5 minutes, it felt like he wasn't outputting enough damage nearly at all. So
no, there was clear there was a bit of rust on his aim. You could see the damage actually wasn't too different, as you say. It ramped up towards the end. He couldn't break the lockdown on the control, so it was pretty brutal to watch, and obviously over by about 4 or 5 minutes in as cha1n began to make his pressure count, and he will be moving on in what is a comfortable victory. And as you say, nosfa moves down to the lower brackets, and we can see how he progresses, because I think he can take it at least one more stage further. But for now, we will jump to a break, and we will catch you guys after for more Quake World Championship action.